Oh hi, didn't see you there, I'm Mr. Bart, and this is how you can export from Final Cut Pro to Google Drive. For this example, I'm going to use the school committee meeting. You can see here it is, but say this is your final project. You can go up to the top right, and one thing you do want to make sure before you're in the top right, you've clicked down here, because if I were to click a clip here and then hit this button, it would actually export this clip. So make sure you're down here. Then come up here where it's that share icon. Not master file. You want Apple devices, either 1080 or 720. Because we're able to, we're going to go with 1080 here. And you can see this right here is what you want to see. This area is the only thing that really matters, because the description, creator, and tags would only be if you're uploading this to YouTube or to Vimeo or another video sharing site such as that. But since we're only going to make a self-contained movie file, this line up here is the only thing that matters. So you want to label that, it's by default going to be the name of your project, but label it whatever you need to make sure it's easily identifiable. Settings, this is the big one that we really want to pay attention to, because Apple devices, yep, faster encode. You could change that to better quality if you have the time. The resolution obviously should be fine, but the biggest one is that by default it asks you to, or is going to add to a playlist library in iTunes. You do not want to do that. Instead, you want to open with QuickTime Player. If your computer has VLC Player on it, that might be an option, but either QuickTime or VLC Player should be your option there. Should be what you check off there, because if you do not do that, it will be sent to iTunes and it will be very difficult to find the actual file. If you have done this and you hit next, you'll get this screen. And over here I can make sure I don't want to do my home folder or any of these folders. I just want it to export to the desktop, because it will be very easy to find that way. And then I hit save. And then it's going to start to export. Oops, excuse me. And you can see the progress right here. But because it's not a very good representation, if I click there, you can actually see the numbers. Now this video is like an hour and a half long, so it's going to take a long time. So instead of waiting for this, I'm actually going to minimize the screen. And you can see here, this is the project as it's exporting. It's not one file, it's 4 files. And a common thing is that students will upload one of these 4 and think it's the video. It is indeed not the video, it's just part of the metadata that's going into it. The final video would look more like this, an example.mov, because it's a self-contained movie. And if I double click on it, I can see this is a previous tutorial I filmed without turning on the microphone, so I'm using it as an example here. So you don't want to you don't want to upload any of these 4 to Google Drive, because not only will it not be your video, it will actually ruin the sharing that you're trying to do. So you do have to wait some time. I would recommend, if you're in a hurry especially, don't use anything in Final Cut Pro, like don't be editing other things, and I would even close all the other applications that you may have open at this time. But say, hypothetically, I'm going to actually cancel this because we don't need this to be done right now. But say this is our example here. The example is our example. I'm going to open up my drive, and you can see like all these other things, and drop it into your drive. You may have it, set up a little bit differently, you may not, but it's going to be uploading. It's going to take less than a minute, thank goodness. You can see the progress bar right here as it's uploading, and you just have to wait a minute. You will see either a screen that will say processing, please wait, or unable to process. If the video is processing, that's fine. That just means it's going to be taking a little bit of time to process the video and encode it so that you can see it in your Google Drive, such as this. We're processing this video. It's a lot different when you see an error that says unable to process, because that means you did not upload the right type of file. So you need to kind of go back and check the steps to make sure you did them all correctly. Hopefully this was helpful. Also, just one last tip. You can share this now. So like if you needed to submit this through Infinite Campus, you can certainly submit it even though it's not done processing. Just make sure it says processing, not unable to process. All right, hopefully that's helpful. Good luck. We're all counting on you.